I want to kind of take it back to when I actually started my business. I started my blog, my first blog went online in 2014, I believe it was. It was November 2014, and the brand Intuitive Strength was actually not born yet. It was called something else. It was called Ogletree Form and Function. I had probably the ugliest website out there. It was like green. It was like because my favorite colors were green. So it was originally like a green and an orange. And for some reason, I thought that looked good together. It looked terrible. Y'all, so check out this website. This is my first like WordPress site. Although this is not the first version of it, I do believe like at one point it was something like this color, like the entire page was like this color with like this orange writing. Let's see if I can find the orange writing. Yeah, so with this orange writing, I obviously got a little bit more savvy as I, was working on my site, but I was originally Ogletree Form and Function. This is what it was. It was a blog, just a WordPress site, but this is kind of where it all started. Do not believe in cookie cutter diets. So that's still true. That is so true. Still pretty much have the same message. I've gotten a little bit more clear in who I serve, what my actual approach to fitness is, and strength training and all of that. This is very wordy. But yeah, I still, for the most part, don't believe in quick fixes, don't believe in fads, don't believe in cookie cutter diets. We need to find what works for you, and that's always been the case with, Ogletree Form and Function, or we're Intuitive Strength now, but that's always been the case with Intuitive Strength. So this is where it all started, and I drew that, by the way. I'm really proud of that. It was like lime green and like this bright orange. It was a WordPress site, something I was just learning how to build like a website. I didn't know anything about like online graphics or like website building or social media, how to use social media at all. I basically had the business since 2014, if we want to count the start of my blog. So I've been working on the brand since 2014. When I started the blog, I wasn't doing any video. I was barely posting on Instagram. I think maybe 2015 or 2016 is when I started posting on Instagram about fitness. I was still in school, so I was finishing up my degree, and I had just gotten back from the military, so I knew I wanted to start my own thing. I thought a blog would be the best way to go, because then I could share information and just have my own website, have a place for people to find me and a place for people to go to like read my stuff or like get in contact with me. So that's really why I started it. I did have like sort of a vision of working for myself, but I was so insecure in 2014 with like my experience and like because I was still in school and I was finishing up my degree and I didn't really have a lot of experience yet. It was just the very, very beginnings of becoming a personal trainer or a fitness coach. So I was, like I said, I just didn't have a lot of experience, but I felt like a blog would be the best way for people to learn some new information about fitness and nutrition and all that. So I started writing articles in 2014 for my website. I started the website in November of 2014, and it was right around there that I started to hear about like online coaching and online training clients online. And I was like really intrigued by the idea. I was like, how can I do that? Like, how are people doing this? Like, what does this even look like? It wasn't even really a concept in my mind to begin with, but because I was searching things like how to build a website, how to, market your business, how to share your blog posts and stuff like that. And I was also looking for tips on how to become a better personal trainer. So I was just searching, I searched Google, and I came across the Personal Training Development Center is what it's called, and it's run by a guy named Jonathan Goodman. He was basically a personal trainer. He was working long hours, he was burnt out, he was trying to figure out a way to balance out his schedule more, because in personal training, in order to make a good amount of money or a decent income, you have to really fill your books with personal training clients. So it's like early mornings, late nights, working with clients. And I knew that that wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. I knew right away, even when I got into the industry, like I wanted to work with people, but I knew being a full-time personal trainer, having like 12-hour days working with clients back to back to back to back, that was not jiving with me well. I knew I wanted to have some clients, but I did not want to have a full book of clients and be in the gym all day, every day, because I knew it would burn me out. I am an introvert and I need alone time. I need my time to like recharge, get away from people, and just the idea of being in the gym all day long, working with one-on-one with clients, just felt I didn't even have it, but it sounded like it was something that was incredibly draining. So I came across John Goodman's website, the Personal Training Development Center, and he was talking about this concept of online training. So I was like, oh wow, like this is cool. I could do this. Like I could still help people. I could still help people change their lives through fitness and, coach them, but do it online. And it would be a great way to supplement, trying to be a personal trainer in person and not taking on as many clients, but also, helping people and coaching people. So the whole idea of personal training, I discovered that by Jonathan Goodman, just searching for ways to become a better personal trainer and, ways to market myself and ways to get my blog and build my website and all of that. Although I started my blog back in 2014 and I was researching these different things about marketing, online marketing, business, websites, coaching, I was still new. So I was really hesitant to promote myself or put myself out there. I didn't want to say the wrong thing. I didn't want to hurt anybody. That was one of the big things for me, getting into the industry. I was just so concerned I was gonna give somebody an exercise that was gonna hurt them. I was just very insecure as a personal trainer starting out, just because I didn't have the experience yet. So although the idea of online coaching sounded amazing, it sounded great, I still I didn't do the things I needed to do to get my brand out there and tell people that I'm here, that I'm available like I am now. I have a much greater presence on social media now, and I didn't have that when I started, just because I wasn't at a point in my journey where I was confident enough to put myself out there on the internet, for everybody to scrutinize me or criticize me or do whatever. So I think it was just lack of experience and just lack of confidence that really held me back from growing the business faster, or just progressing faster in my business. And at that time, I was employed at a small boutique personal training studio as well, and I was just looking for job opportunities. So I wasn't looking to go right off on my own. I wanted to get experience. I wanted to get the job. I wanted to get a job outside, as soon as I graduated Temple. I knew I wanted to be in fitness coaching and personal training. My degree is in exercise science, it's in kinesiology. A lot of people who go into that track, they end up going to PT school, so physical therapy or occupational therapy, so they end up going to a professional school or becoming doctors. I knew that wasn't gonna be my path, and I knew that's not what I wanted. And I knew I wanted to get into fitness coaching. So I started to look for jobs for that. So I started at a personal training studio in Germantown, and then I also got hired at the Croc Center in Philadelphia. So those were my first two personal training, fitness coaching type jobs. I had the blog, but the blog was just a side thing that I did. I didn't really take it seriously. I was still researching a lot about marketing and training online and how it works and how to do it, how to deliver stuff to clients, how everything works, email marketing, all of that stuff. So I was a complete newbie in 2014, 2015. I didn't really have a vision when I first started the business. I just knew that I wanted to eventually have my own business, and I spoke about this in my Why I Quit video, but I always had this, this feeling behind in the back of my mind, like, I want to work for myself. Like, I've always had that, and I don't know where it came from. I think it came from like my Aunt Sherry. She's really the only like close family member that I have that owns a business. So since I was younger, I've always felt like I wanted to own my own business. So here I am now. Intuitive Strength, number one, was not Intuitive Strength starting out. It was Ogletree Form and Function starting out. Nobody's searching for the name Ogletree or let alone Ogletree Form and Function. I stuck with that name for a while. I think I stuck with it for like a year or two before I decided to change it. And I changed it when I first invested in my first like business coaching program. The ladies that were running it, they taught us different marketing and business tactics, and like how to use email marketing, how to market yourself, how to like find a niche, just how to use social media to your advantage. So I enrolled in that. That I think was 2016. And that was a huge help in helping me like clarify like what I wanted to focus on. Before I got into that business program or that academy, it was like I forget what it was called, but it was like an online business academy run by two females who were in the fitness industry. They decided to take their businesses online. And then they decided to consult on business and all that stuff and help other fitness professionals or wellness professionals build an online brand and an online business. So once I invested in that program, that was like the scariest thing I've ever done. Up until that point anyway, because that program was probably like $2,000. And I was right out of college, broke as hell. So it was a huge investment for me, but it did really clarify for me like what I want to focus on, and that's where I figured out like what my brand was going to be, Intuitive Strength. So since 2016, it's been named Intuitive Strength, and I've stuck with that because the name to me and the way that I coach, the way that my coaching style and the way that I coach nutrition, everything, to me, everything aligns. So I chose Intuitive Strength because it's all about feeling good. It's all about doing what feels good for your body, regardless of what that is. So there are a lot of fitness coaches out there who, gear towards certain modalities or certain ways of training or certain ways of eating, like keto and intermittent fasting and all that. Like they're really gung-ho about it. But honestly, I'm not. I think you should do what's best for you at the time, and I think you should be able to experiment with what feels good to you at the time. So if that's intermittent fasting, awesome, and you feel great doing it, great, do it. If that's, counting calories, if you want to really track your calories and just stay on top of things, awesome, do that. I'm not really married to any style of eating or style of training. I'm willing to try everything and do what feels good to me in the moment, and I feel like I try to reflect that on my clients as well. Like we don't have to be stuck doing certain things, because this and that, because this is the way, because there is really no like perfect way to get to where you want to go. So the whole concept of Intuitive Strength was born in 2016 with that concept in mind, that we just need to do what's best for our bodies and what feels good for our body. The other component to Intuitive Strength is obviously the strength training. So it's no surprise that I love strength training. That's like one of my favorite things to do. That's what most of my workouts are. They're full body strength training workouts, at least right now. And I just felt like women were being very underserved in the fitness industry when it comes to training. So personal training, coaching, and especially as it relates to strength training. It has changed over the years, like the bad connotation that heavy lifting, heavy strength training has with women and what it does to women's bodies, how it makes them bulky, it makes it hard to lose weight, all of this stuff. I feel like the industry is shifting a little bit, and I think it definitely has to do with the fact that social media is available. There's a lot more coaches online. There's a lot more people talking about strength training for women. So it's definitely made a turn in the right direction, but there's still so much out there, so much misinformation out there about about strength training for women, and I just really felt like women were being underserved in the industry. So that's why I decided to hone in on women and strength training and helping women use strength training to their advantage and help them reach their goals. So while there are a lot of great coaches online and on social media right now, there's a ton of them. There's still a lot that that are pushing misinformation, pushing things that are not necessarily true, or saying that things are, you know, black and white, hard facts when they're really not, that sort of stuff. So I wanted to come into the industry with a more unbiased view, I guess, on certain things, and just like shed light on things that are being just facts that are maybe not so much facts, or facts that are misleading, or just misleading things in the industry, and just come with, you know, experience as a coach for 5 years, and just try to help people, just try to help women in general, like women specifically, sort through all of the garbage that's out there. There is a lot of good stuff out there now, but there's still a ton of other, you know, a ton of trash that's out there as well. So I hope that with like my brand so far and what I've done with it, that I'm helping kind of shift the industry a little bit, and just kind of leaving my mark a little bit on that. So 2016, that's when I decided to focus on strength training with women. But even then, I still didn't nail my marketing right. Like I didn't get it right, you know, right away. So it's always been an experimentation, and it still is. I'm still making progress on it. I'm still figuring out how to be effective in the marketplace, especially online, where it is competitive and it is noisy, and there is a lot of stuff going on online. Content is of no shortage now because everyone's online. So it has become harder to get your message across. Yeah, so that's where I decided to focus my business on. And even once I figured that out, strength training in women, and then my name, my brand in 2016, I still was hesitant because I still felt like I wasn't expert enough. I wasn't, you know, who was I to be online talking about fitness? There's people who are way more, you know, experienced than I am. I'm not gonna be able to help anybody. So it's just all that self-doubt was still going on in my mind. So I was still although I was personal training and I was trying to build a business, I was definitely self-sabotaging myself because I still had those thoughts in my head oh, I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I'm gonna be able to help anybody. So it's just a lot of self-doubt that was going on. That was something that I realized I really, really had to work on in the next couple of years in order to be able to get online and start talking and making an impact the way I wanted to make an impact. That was 2016. I know I said this was gonna be short, but to give you guys my whole backstory. So yeah, I was still hesitant to post. I was posting things. I was always posting things here and there. I don't know if I was doing so much video. I might have done, in 2016, I was probably doing workout videos, but not talking directly to the camera or explaining things to the camera, just because I just wasn't confident enough yet. I was very happy that I was able to nail down what I wanted to focus on in the industry and what problem and issues I wanted to attack in the industry with Intuitive Strength in 2016. So Intuitive Strength is an online fitness coaching brand for women. I do work with men too, but I do target women specifically because I do feel strongly that they are underserved in the fitness industry, and they really need attention when it comes to strength training and personal training and coaching and all of that. So women are probably they're the most likely to seek out personal training. So there's way more female clients in the personal training industry or fitness coaching industry than male clients. Yet I feel they're still underserved in the fact that, like I was saying before, misinformation and just myths about strength training and exercise and all of that, and nutrition and dieting. There's a lot going on in the fitness industry that needs to be turned around. So that's why I'm targeting women. I do still work with men, but my message is mainly focused towards women. All right, so we're gonna fast forward to 2018. 2016 to 2018, I was still working part-time jobs. So I was at the Croc Center. I was doing my own coaching. I was taking up classes. I was just doing anything I could to stay in the industry and get work and just trying to make it work. But then I became, I don't want to say I became burnt out. I think I just started to doubt, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to build this business. And so I started to really doubt the brand, out my business, because it was new and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have experience, and it was just tough. It was tough because I was right out of school. I was, struggling financially. It was just hard, just like not having a full-time job and like having to worry about bills and just running around all over the place. So I was driving Lyft and Uber. I was working at the Crop Center. I was teaching classes. I was taking on personal training clients, but they were very sparse, like here and there. And I think that had to do with the fact that I still didn't have the confidence to, go out there and market myself and talk to people and put myself out there. So I just don't think I was ready yet. So I think it was the December of it was the end of 2017 where I was like, okay, I need to get a full-time job. So I was like, I'm tired of running around. I'm tired of, not making progress. I'm just tired. So that was the end of, I think, 2017, beginning of 2018, and that's when I became a fitness manager for a company out in Bluebell, because I was just ready to just be at one place and just do my job and then go home, because I was a little burnt out. I was just a little discouraged, a little burnt out because my business wasn't growing, but I wasn't doing the things I needed to do to grow the business, and now I can see that I literally wasn't doing anything to grow the business other than maybe making a couple posts on social media, but that was it. Yeah, I was just discouraged, and I was like, you know what, maybe I should just go get a job, just go try and find a full-time job. So I found one. And I loved it. I loved being there. I loved my job. I loved the people there. I was there full-time. It was my 9 to 5, even though I didn't work the hours of 9 to 5, but I was there Monday through Friday, had weekends off. I was pretty much running the whole operation there. So I had the autonomy in the job, and it was great. The first year, I had no issues. I was so happy with it, because I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is like running my own business. I get to, make up marketing stuff. I get to talk to new clients. I get to have consultations. I get to teach classes. I get to do everything that I want to do. But I'm doing it for a company. So it's okay, and I have a steady paycheck. So that to me at the time was a steady income to me at the time. It's it was the best thing since sliced bread. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And I was happy in that job for probably the first year, maybe a little over a year, but I still had intuitive strength on the side. So I still was taking on a client here and there. I still was, posting on social media. I still was blogging, but not as I was never frequent with blogging. And I think because I get in a writer's block, I am a good writer, but I don't know, blogging to me, I'd rather make a video now, and I'm realizing that I enjoy making videos more than I enjoy writing. So yeah, I was still blogging here and there. I still had intuitive strength, but it was on the back burner. And I feel since I started Ogletree Form and Function to Intuitive Strength, it was always on the back burner. It was always just this side thing that I do. I never really treated it like a business. I never really treated it like something that was going to turn into something. And I think that's why it never really grew. And because I wasn't treating it like a business. I was treating it like a hobby. I was oh, it's this cool thing that I do on the side, and just putting everything before it. And I started to realize that in my full-time job. So I was trying to do stuff for it in my full-time job, while I was doing my full-time job, but my full-time job was taking up a lot of my mental capacity to do anything. So with managing a facility, to coming up with marketing material, to writing newsletters, to teaching classes, personal training, I was doing a lot of stuff there. So by the time I got home, I didn't want to do anything for my business, and I was just pushing it off to the side. And it was about probably 6 months before I left my job that I started to realize this, and I started to almost become, I don't want to say I was in deep depression, because I wasn't in deep depression, but I was in a kind of a depressive state, because I was I'm never going to build this business. I'm never going to have time to do this. And I just kept sabotaging what was important to me, just because I had the full-time job, and knowing I wanted to build the business, and not giving myself the time to do it just really messed with me. So going to work became a real struggle the last 6 months of my job. I was late a lot. I know my old boss probably didn't want to hear that, but like I would show up late all the time. I just didn't have the same enthusiasm for my job. Even though I loved people there, I felt like I was slowly like just dying inside, if that makes sense. I know that's like really dramatic, but like that's what it felt like. It felt like I was slowly like just letting myself like, I don't know, just settling. I was just letting myself settle, and I knew like I was initially like I said, this was 6 months out from when I quit my job, so I knew I needed to make a change, but it took me 6 months to like finally be like, you need to go. You need to leave this business. You need to leave this company if you're gonna ever have a shot of building your own brand. So I left. So I left, and I promised myself, I said, if I leave, I have to give my all. I have to give my all with this brand and building this brand and all of that. So since I left, I've put out a weekly vlog, a weekly video. I'm always on social media. I'm always, reaching out to people. I like really, this is like what I want to work on. This is what I'm going to focus on when I get tired, because it is a lot. It's a lot of work. So I do have days where I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't really want to do anything for the business today. And I allow myself those days sometimes. I'm just like, okay, like go drive for Lyft and Uber or something, like just take your mind off of it, and then when you're ready, get back into it. Like I give myself those mini breaks, but I've been able to do so much more because I left my full-time job. And I think my head right now, like now versus when I started the business, my head is in the right space. I have the experience that I needed to like feel confident as a coach. I've gotten the mentorship I needed in terms of coaching. Shout out to Brian from Steelworks. He's been great in mentoring me as a coach, as well as Jason and Lauren from Achieve Fitness Boston. I'm in their fitness mastermind, so that has been like, oh my gosh, that has been so helpful as a coach. So if you're looking for mentorship as a personal trainer or a fitness coach, their mentorship program is like top notch. Like it's helped me become so much more confident as a coach, and I just love them so much. So Jason and Lauren, I love you guys. You don't know who I am, but I love your mentorship program. It's amazing. So yeah, so I feel like now like I have all the skills I need. I have the marketing skills. I have the confidence to get on video. I have my brand. I know exactly what I want to target, like what who my target market is. Every time I make stuff, even though like it can be a lot of work, I am excited to make it because I'm like, I know this is gonna help the people that I'm serving. I know it's gonna help you guys. So it just makes me really happy every day that I get to, even though I still drive Lyft and Uber because I'm not making a full-time income right now doing this, it just makes me happy that I get to work on this and really focus on this stuff. So my mission right now is to help as many women as I can strength train and learn how to use it properly and not be afraid of strength training, and build their confidence with strength training, and educate them on, proper exercise modalities and nutrition, and just dispel all of the myths that are out there with strength training and nutrition and dieting, and just hopefully make a positive impact in the fitness industry. So that is definitely the mission of Intuitive Strength. I don't see that changing much in the future. It hasn't changed since 2016. So it's just about getting better at my marketing message and like the way I'm positioning myself in the industry, connecting with more people, and just getting the message out there. But yeah, just getting better, just getting more clear with people on what this actually is. It is, at the core of it, it is a personal training and online fitness brand. But I feel like to me, the company is a transformative company in that it's helping women really see like how strong they actually are, not just physically, but mentally, and just empowering women. It's just empowering women to be the best versions of themselves, and not feel like they have to shrink themselves or be a certain way, or do a certain thing. Just empowering women is what this really is at its core. Yeah, just sifting through all of the fitness nonsense that's out there, that the marketing messages that are targeted towards women, especially when it comes to strength training.